What was not a 5?
The S that I wrote down is not an S. I was like all but S. What? Oh no, it's all but 5.
Oh,
I was like, did I just forget to complete a sentence as I sometimes do? No, just all but 5. I was like, just yeah. When they rolled initiative for the combat.
that's what I used to do with the with my math students when I was teaching math. It was like, dude, the twos. I know she's right there. Oh,
Boop,
she is
boop,
visible. Hey, there
boop,
she is.
boop, boop,
It's almost like
boop.
she feels it.
Oh yeah, she did, and then she's gone.
I was trying to teach these students at such a young age. They're grade 2, and like like how twos can look like Z's.
Mm.
But when I was in college, I learned that just put a little cross across your Z so you know the difference.
Yeah, I remember I used to do those too. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Mm.
otherwise, like you just do that little loop at the bottom.
When I was in college, we called them Zeds, but that's all right.
Where the fuck are you from, Mr. Canada? Hey, bro, we're on.
Hey, are we on the internet?
We are.
Cool. Welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. I am Ben and Gaosheng,
I am Tim and Tai Joe.
and we're some critters in Taiwan. Yeah, man, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Things are getting a little better. Work was a
Good.
little shitty for a while, but yeah.
That's work. You mean work? Just
Work was work. Yeah.
work was work.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear ya.
If you don't live in Taiwan, maybe you don't understand some of the things we have to go through. But
Mhm.
it's temporary. Usually.
As my grandpappy always used to say, there's nothing common about common sense.
I understand that completely. Maybe some non-Taiwanese viewers do not, or viewers and non-Taiwan viewers. There.
Speaking of common sense, Tim, tonight we're talking about campaign number 3, episode number 57, The Sorrow of Molaesmyr.
The sorrow of a Molaesmyr. Now you can hear our country differences. The sorrow of Molaesmyr. Huh.
Yeah.
The sorrow of it. Huh.
The Sorrow of Molaesmyr. Listen, man, I'm just gonna say this right off the hop.
Okay.
It's a point that I've got, but it's not gonna be whatever. Did you ever? I think we talked about this a bunch of episodes ago. We talked about the that Natalie Portman movie, Annihilation, which I think I confused with a somebody somebody else, some other famous actress.
Rings a bell.
Anyway, it was a movie where aliens or a thing, something crashes into Earth and creates a zone, and inside that zone everything is mutated, and it's all like there's this bear that is like half bear, half human, and all of the humans that were in this zone all turned into, like, some of them turned into trees, some of them turned into like elongated mutant weird things. There's like this crocodile that has a mouth in its mouth in its mouth, and it's all of these.
Starting to sound like Molaesmyr.
Oh yeah, 100%. So as we're going through this episode tonight, I'm like, this is Annihilation. This is the movie Annihilation. Like, this is where Matt was getting his inspiration from. Faux show.
Faux show. Matt, we know you're watching.
Yeah, it was.
Get
I listen,
touch
man.
if he just nailed it.
So you wonder why they call it The Sorrow of Molaesmyr. If you watch that movie Annihilation, which by the way is an excellent movie, it is not a happy movie. It is a very sad movie. It's very emotional because there's a big, like, emotional moment in it that happens, and you're like, whoa, pulling on the heartstrings there. And it's a sad ending. It's a sad beginning. All of it is sad. It's not a happy movie at all. It's excellent. It's a very, very well done movie. No, there's a bit of action. There's a bit of science. There's a bit of not science.
It sounds
it's
a lot
good.
like a movie I'd like to watch if I was like hungover the second day on a Sunday.
Listen, I recommend it. Cue it up on the DVR and on the old TiVo. They still have those, right?
Yeah,
TiVos?
I think it's a little green icon on my computer where I get to,
Right. Yeah.
TiVo these things.
Where you legally purchase all of your downloads?
Yeah. I still haven't seen the Marisha the
Creators Clash.
Creator Clash, yeah. So I haven't
Creator
seen
Clash.
that yet.
Creator
I haven't
Clash
found
2.
it.
I don't know if it's
found it
available.
in my paid apps that I use.
I think they're really looking for charitable donations on that one.
Well, sure.
Hey, bud, should we just get into some rollies here?
Yeah, sure. Real quick, can you bring that gain down to like 75 instead of
Oh,
80?
yeah, is it a little bit high there? I
Well,
can
I was
move it.
just peaking a little bit. You're not
There
you're
we
not
go.
too
How's
loud.
that?
You're just getting a
How's
little
how's
fuzzy on the
that?
top.
How's that? Is that better? Is that
Yeah, there
that
we
gonna
go.
do
Much
okay?
better, much better.
Good.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get right into rollies then, eh? All
Sure,
right. This
eh?
one might be a little bit fast. Ben's got some
All
stuff
right,
he's
eh?
got to do afterwards. When was the last time we didn't say it was going to maybe be a
Yeah,
little
and
fast?
it's we like every single time, and then it ends
Yeah, I
up being
think so. It's just like Ben's
the
so busy
normal the
these
normal
days.
amount of time.
Yeah. All right, here we go. With a
Let's do it.
19,
Oh,
motherfucker.
hello. Natural one.
Natural one. Okay.
I
Should I
have
should
a
I start with my
feeling
biggie?
I would. Guns blazing.
Okay. Now, there comes a little preface to this.
Uh-oh.
I just finished my second watch of this episode just today, about an hour before we started doing this. And Ben, you finished your second watch
Yesterday afternoon. Yesterday before work.
yesterday. And your first watch, when did you finish that?
Friday night.
Friday night. Okay. I finished my first watch, I think, Sunday. And then I got through the next.
It was a short episode. It was only, well, not short, but under 4 hours, 350, I think, on the Twitch, which take out 15 minutes and 20 minutes, take out another half hour to 40 minutes for the intro and the break and the outro.
Yeah.
It's like a 5 minute outro. So it's around a 3 and a bit hour, 320-ish.
Yeah, that's like 45. This break seemed a little shorter. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, with the intro and that stuff, it's like, 30, 40, 50 minutes sometime. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. But anytime you see the 3 in the beginning, you're like, oh, well.
Yeah, it's a shorter
short,
episode.
yeah.
This was 350 something. So yeah, it's close to the 4 hour mark, but
Yeah.
Anyway, yep.
All right. So, Ben, talking to the camera, not you, Ben. I know it looks like I'm looking at both of you right now, but talking to the camera right now, Ben had a hunch about something, and he said, in all caps in a text he sent me, he said, "I will not bring this up during cast." And I was like, okay. And then he told me about it, and I was like, huh, I didn't pick up on that. Second time through, I was trying to pay more attention to it. Now, ultimately, I didn't quite pick up on exactly what you were talking about.
Okay.
And it may or may not be disclosed what he was talking about. However, I've got a list of 8 or 9 little things here where I'm going to say it to Ben. And Ben, you're going to go ahead and be like, is that a part of what you were thinking or not? Because I'm still not there.
Okay. All right. I see. We're playing a little bit of a game here.
Yeah.
I like it.
So like
Okay.
I
I like these
started
kind of things.
that where I thought I picked up my first little thing, and then you can react however you want to react. And again,
Okay.
you don't have to
All right.
disclose
All right.
at all what your hunch was. If you
I
want
like-
to, you can, but
I like games.
wait until we get to the end of it, all right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this one, okay? All right. I have it as a series of conspiracy notes. All right. So the first one I have. Now this might be before your thing, it might be after, I don't know. Just give me your reaction to this. At one point, Travis asked about how wide open the streets were.
Yep.
Was this in the realm of where you started getting your hunch?
No.
No, because I looked at that and I was like, okay, so it didn't seem strange at all. It's like some avenues were larger for the elk to get through, right? And some avenues were not. And then I think shortly after that, there was the I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Okay.
I think shortly after that there was the channel divinity of some sort that FCG did. What did they do? They said there's another word for it, not channel divinity.
It was divine, not divine intervention. It's commune.
Commune, yeah, commune.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
there was like, you want to go left, you want to go right,
Yeah.
right?
He only asked one question, and then he's like, no, okay, that's it. That's all I need to know, and we're gonna go. Whereas he would have got three questions,
Good
yes or no
point.
questions. He only asked the one, and then he was like, okay, that's enough.
I forgot
And
about
then he went,
that.
yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that
I
a
caught
part
it.
of your hunch?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
All right, so far
But you're leading into where my little thing is going.
okay. Bear with me. All right. I'm gonna skip this one because this was just a thought that I had. I can come
Hey,
back to
man,
that
there's no
later,
such
though.
thing as a thought. Oh, okay. Or you want to save it for later? That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So actually that one we kind of just answered. It was like ask the change bringer, the divination, the commune. Yeah, commune. And
Commune.
and that's a really good point. Only one question was asked, and there could have been two more, but they just kind of went on. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, that's all. The only one that I think they really wanted.
All right. I'm gonna make a mark here for this one and come back to it. Little star. Okay. Now, after that, no one objected to Sam's spiritual weapon cast, which seemed like it would be like, hey, we're
The
trying to be hush hush here, like, and you're gonna go ahead and cast this thing that has a bunch of Fritas flying
oh, the
around.
spiritual guardians.
Guardians, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought that maybe I expected Laura to chime in and be like, we're trying to be quiet, and somebody to say like, oh no, it's only based on hearing, which they don't know, they're just
Right.
guessing.
Right.
Does that have anything to do with your hunch?
It's starting to. Yeah.
Okay, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're
Getting
getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Any more to add, or should I go forward?
No, I do have some problems with that though.
Care to mention?
Should I? Well, it'll lead into where my that
It might lead into my next one. Which
it might.
Is fine.
It
I've got
probably
8
will.
points here.
So he casts the spirit guardians,
9
which
points.
should have hit as those ghosts were coming in. That should have hit a bunch of them, and then
Oh, good point.
that would have initiated initiative roll, but it didn't because Deanna does her turn undead, but that turn undead should have been like once they turn or whatever. The problem is with that is that it's because Matt said, and I don't really know, or because Deanna said, I don't really sure about this one. It's anything under CR1 gets destroyed.
Yeah, there was some stuff there.
And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff because the ghosts should have been destroyed, but Matt physically he said they don't get destroyed.
But they go away.
They go away. He actually said, I wrote it down. Damn it. Where is it? Not destroyed, scattered outward and vanish. So I'm like that. I don't know what that means. They just go away. Which is not right because they're ghosts. They should have. They're under CR1. They should have disappeared or been destroyed.
If they're undead.
But then the other problem is if they're not destroyed. So here's my problem with this: if they're not destroyed and they just vanish, the Spirit Guardian spell should have damaged them, which would have brought them back into combat again.
Right.
Or something like that.
It's an aggressive action that might make them roll initiative.
For whatever reason, Matt chose to ignore, not for whatever reason, for the reason I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Matt chose to ignore that Spirit Guardian spell until combat started. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that may very well be a part of your hunch.
The thing that I'm getting worked up. Because I'm not worked up about it. Let's be honest. I found it kind of gross.
We don't even know what it is yet. All right, going on to the next one. How much of this theory or hunch is based on visuals? Because a lot of this, it was in my pocket, so I didn't see people's reactions or anything. It was in my pocket. I was only doing audio.
All of it.
So we're looking at faces here and reactions.
All of it being visual, being other stuff. The battle map.
Okay, I got one about that coming up soon. Okay. All right. This is good. I feel like I'm in the room with the fucking perp, and I'm getting somewhere.
You're in the library, you think it's probably Colonel Mustard, it might be somebody else.
Yeah. I feel like they haven't asked for a lawyer and I'm getting somewhere.
Could be a lead pipe, could be a candlestick.
You don't know. It could be a rope. All right, Colonel Mustard.
I honestly don't remember any of the other characters except for Colonel Mustard. There's like Scarlet, maybe, or
I don't remember.
Yeah, do you remember any of the other ones? Nope, just Colonel Mustard, because it's such a ridiculous name.
It's a great name.
It is. It really is. If my name was ever Mustard, I'd want to be a colonel.
Yeah, you'd have to make that your life goal. Yeah. It's nice to see Lacey on the stream.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I already said this one. No one objected to Sam's spiritual weapons thing, and the thing is, usually when people cast something, just going back to it for a second here, usually when somebody casts something that's just kind of like somebody's idea, and they're just like, all right, I cast this. There's usually like a word or two, or like a, oh, or some kind of reaction whatsoever, especially when it's the
Right.
first one that's cast. So that
Right.
was when I was starting to think like maybe this was part of his hunch. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. All right, so nobody responded to that. And then the one after that I have is the same kind of non-reaction when Deanna channeled divinity. What the fuck did she do?
Turn undead.
She did turn undead, yeah. And
Yep.
then nobody, it was silent at the table, like including Matthew for like
Yeah,
2
because
seconds.
it's the right move. Like that's exactly the thing that that a cleric should have done. And if FCG was an actual like traditional cleric, they would have done the same thing. But their channel divinity is something completely different. It's been reskinned because they started this campaign as not believing in divinity. It's only been recently that they've actually sort of adopted the Changebringer, a god, as their sort of divine figurehead or whatever. But the actual his channel or their channel divinity is much different. It's the empathetic stuff. It's the empathy cleric things.
Yeah, okay. And that one was kind of minor because it makes sense to me to
It
turn
does.
undead.
It does. But this is again, this is another one of my big problems with this is that because they did it once, and funny little, if I may,
Another little turn down on the gain, if you don't mind.
yeah, sure. So then what Matt does at that point, he's like, okay, there's 20 of them.
You sound good.
There's 20 of these
Oh,
ghosts.
wait, we got quiet there. Just up a tiny bit.
There we go. I can pop it up a little bit. There we go.
Thanks.
So Matt says there's 20 of these ghosts.
Yeah.
And he starts rolling dice. And I'm like, man, you got apps for this. What are you rolling 20 D20s for? Like, how, number one, how are you going to remember that you get 20? And number two, you have a phone right there. You've used it before. Just use an app.
Okay.
Use the app. Like, why are you doing all those rolls by hand? It's silly.
That goes. Go ahead.
No, and then now here's the big problem. So he's like, 5 of them survive. Now I need everyone to roll initiative. Why didn't you let Deanna channel divinity again? Like you let her do it once. You can definitely you've got multiple uses, maybe 3 of these channel divinities per day.
Turn them again.
Just turn them again. There's no rule against that. It's not like they're immune to it. Once it's not like once they succeed, they can't be like with, say for example, scrying. If you resist the scry, you can't be scryed on again for 24 hours.
Right, there's that rule there.
It doesn't work that way for turn undead. It's just you can keep nuking them over and over and over again.
Huh.
That's what it's there for.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
This is another problem that I have with. No, they did it. Do you remember in campaign 2 when they went into the where there was that room in the they went down the stairs, the spiral staircase. This was in Bazozan, I believe. They go down the spiral staircase, and they go into the room, and the wall. There's a single line in the room, and the floor sloughed off downwards, and undead zombies were coming up, and they were trying to grab their hearts to put the hearts into the
right, because some of them were glowing and some of them were not.
Both Chester and Caduceus were just pumping channel divinities in there to poof, 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 poof. They're just popping them like popcorn.
Yeah.
So this is a thing they can do. Matt didn't even give Deanna or Bria the chance, and I thought that was slightly unfair. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Maybe she didn't think of it. I mean, how could she not think of it? Right.
You're getting closer to my point.
Okay. Next one, which is directly related to this, I went back and I counted Matthew's rolls with him.
Okay.
He the rolls that he did and the fingers he kept were accurate to 15 and 5.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah. So great. I'm glad he kept track of it, but I still believe he should have just used an app.
Yeah.
I stand by it.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's the free, like there's a ton of free dice apps out there. I use one called Crit Dice. It's great.
Yeah. There are 20 things. There's the DC.
Yeah.
Do the math for me. There's like random rolls for me.
You just press D20 and you go doot, and then it does D20. You just count how many fails, how many successes, how many fails, whatever.
There you go. Fucking hell. Okay. Yeah. Well, he did it analog, and
Yeah, and it works great. But if you remember, there was a bit of dead air, and they were, and not that that's a terrible thing. They were chatting amongst themselves, and that's always great too. But Yeah,
Okay.
we're always talking about how ways to speed up combat. So that's one way. Well, actually, it wasn't even combat at that point. So
I did like that one time in campaign one when Pike came in with her astral projection and she jumped into these things and just fucking
yeah,
destroyed undead on that
uh huh,
siege
uh huh.
on Iman or whatever the fuck it was. I don't remember, but like, and you just destroyed these things, and I think everybody got a boner at the table, because it was so fucking
Mm,
cool. And
hmm.
yeah, but and Matthew was sitting there like rolling dice and like counting on his thing. It was all but six of the fucking 50 or whatever. Like he
Right,
sat there and everybody was just
right.
talking at the table, just you know, talk
Mm-hmm,
amongst yourselves. This is gonna take a
mm-hmm.
little while, and like only like
Sure.
six or
So
so.
maybe,
Say it
and
again.
again, I'm a bit of a stickler. I love rolling dice too, but at that point, I feel like it's at that moment you should be using an app. That's my opinion. We
Yeah,
have it. We have
keep
the
things rolling a
technology.
little bit.
Hmm.
Kind of goes against that term.
Yep. I'm glad he didn't do the thing where he just rolled once for all of them. That would have been awful, or something like that. I've
Yeah,
known DMs. I've known DMs to do that.
there's the like roll a percentage dice,
Yeah.
so they see how many pass or whatever. But that's
Hmm.
usually a mechanic in different kinds of games, like Heroes or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, depending on your skill. And then the
Sure.
last one here is something that we kind of not the last one, second to last one is one that we already kind of touched on. Matt came out immediately with that map.
Hmm.
He usually goes to a different room, maybe
Hmm.
does a few amendments,
Hmm.
and then brings it
Hmm.
out. And like they have time to talk at the table for a minute.
Yep.
Sometimes he comes out quickly with the map, but this
Hmm.
time it
It
was
was
like
right there.
right there.
Yeah. It
It
was
was
right
it
beside.
was
It was set
fewer than
up ready
10
to go.
seconds.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that's the second to last thing that I have to say about your hunch. I still I've got one more, which might be a little bit. It's up to you how much you want to reveal about your hunch. Is I don't understand where a motive would come from for this hunch,
I do.
and it's up to you if you want to say what it
I
is or
do.
not.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw it out there, man. They're working way too close with WizKids. Way too close. It's a partnership. It's a serious partnership,
This is
and
shilling that we're talking about right now.
100%.
Oh, this is why you felt so uncomfortable.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
This is
okay.
this is this is the point, is that they listen, all of the minis, everything they use, all of the stuff that they're doing with the CR brand is anything to do with terrain or the minis they're making. Even that at the
The
beginning of the episode,
cam,
they have that
man, the
the little
amazing camera.
right, the little Game Master hooded Game Master Mini with the D20. That's made by WizKids. Everything is being made by WizKids. So they are shilling for this company to the point where this was a preordained battle. This was a battle map that absolutely had to come in to this thing so that they could do the zoom in, so they could have the WizKids logo, so they could have all of this stuff. I think it's branding. I think it's, as you said, shilling, and I think it's a little gross. It's a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like I'm never going to say that the show is scripted because that's stupid. It's not. But this was a planned event. I'm 100% convinced, and I'll fight you if you think
There
I'm
you have
wrong.
it, folks. That was the hunch. It was up
Yeah.
to him whether or not he wanted to say it or
Yeah.
not, but that was
It's
the hunch he had.
I felt I was watching it all, and I'm like, all of these things are adding up to the wrong thing. Why is this happening? Why are we getting this right here? I love combat. I love all of these things. It was a beautiful, gorgeous map. Like, good job, WizKids. You're
Really,
killing
yeah.
it. You're killing it on terrain with Matt, although some of it was homebrewed stuff. It was gorgeous. I loved it. I was super jealous. I want shit like that in my house, at my table. I want that. All
If
that
we
stuff.
if we only were sponsored as well as
And
they
it's
are.
it's
Yeah.
it, it's awesome that they're doing this. I love that they're making D&D better, and I love that they're making it, because I know that the WizKid stuff is affordable. It's not out like when Dwarven Forge and Warlock tiles, when they first came out, way out of price range of any. Like, you had to be rich, you had to be very, very, or to have a ton of disposable income to spend on this stuff. And it's like, that's out of my ballpark. But this stuff is affordable, and I love that it is. It's still expensive, but it's affordable, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's really cool, and it's fun to use, and I like all of that. But I just feel like this was it felt this was planned and that it was going to happen no matter what.
Do you feel like it
I think
happened in a fairly organic manner? A
no,
manner?
no. I mean, fairly is judgment is kind of that's your judgment.
Completely
If you think
subjective, of course.
subjective, thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Subjective, because the I felt like Matt, like again, he ignored the spirit guardians. He immediately after 15 of them. Listen, man, what happens if 20 of these ghosts don't get turned on that battle map? They're going to actually have 20 ghosts set up there. They would have been. It would have been it had to happen this way for this to happen, and then it's go time. It just felt it didn't feel 100% natural. It didn't feel 100% just this is the way the dice go and this is the way it's going to be. It felt like it was like, okay, we're going to do this and then we'll do that and then this will happen and then the map comes out and we roll initiative. And so we can get that synergy, I believe they call it.
Man,
Yeah.
so like yeah, when you first mentioned it, I was like the last thing that I had was like, okay, yeah, it seemed a little
Hmm.
I couldn't find the difference between railroading and
Well,
God forbid scripting.
I've got a bunch of things. Can I throw a couple of things at you that
Throw it
sort of.
out, buddy.
So there, one of the things that I've kind of got about all of this is that there's a lot of laughter going on in this episode. Even when things are kind of grim and things are kind of bad, they're still cracking jokes. They're still having a really good time. And
Pretty
I love
standard.
that because I've got written here in all caps, they're having fun, case closed. Everything I say after that is null and void. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. That's it. They're having fun, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter any of my complaints, any of my issues, any of these things that I have to say about this doesn't matter. It's just me fucking talking. It doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But when they're but the point is that I have on this is that when they're having all of this constant laughter and these giggles and the laughs and the lulls and they're cracking jokes and everything's all fun and lighthearted, the gameplay kind of suffers a little bit. They miss things. Matt's as my dearly departed friend Dan always used to say, Matt's mattiness goes away. It's not as intense. It's not as impactful. It's not as important. It doesn't seem as dialed up as it should be as we've become used to in Critical Role. And so I feel like that a bunch of these things stop happening. Like I've got written down here. What have I got here? The possession problem, that when Chetney gets possessed, Matt missed a lot of rules with this. And okay, again, they're having fun. Case closed. Doesn't matter. Rule of cool trumps every single time if the table's having fun.
Actually brings something up.
But with possession, they have no knowledge of class features or proficiencies of the character the ghost is possessing. So that means that they wouldn't be using, when Chetney attacks, he can't use the scythe because he's not proficient in it. The ghost can't use those proficiencies. He can't use the proficiency modifiers. It can't use the class features or any of those things. That doesn't carry through with possession. The other
Really?
thing that he didn't, yeah.
That doesn't seem right, man. I mean, like you possess the thing, you can do whatever they can do.
Yeah, except that this is not a very powerful monster. This is just a
It's a
ghost.
CR. They said CR1, right?
No, it's less. It's less than CR1. It's CR half. It's
Fuck.
not a very strong. Listen, there was 20 of them. Like it's not going to be. There's even more of them. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
These are not really powerful monsters. So for them to imagine if a level 20 character fails their saving throw, then suddenly you get to a CR half gets to possess a level 20 barbarian
Okay.
like Grog going through the rest of Vox Machina
Okay.
like rhubarb. It would
Yeah.
be ridiculous, right? So
That makes sense for the first time in my career.
this is
Imagine
what I'm
fucking,
saying. Like
like getting
got to
Keyleth
be-
and just destroying the party.
absolutely, it's got to be balanced, right? So they don't have the knowledge of knowledge, no class features, no proficiencies. They don't know how to do these things.
It would just be attacking with just
There's
like like a no bonuses kind of like, all right, there's a hit.
Yeah,
Like
it
just
would be,
punching people.
if the ghost is possessing it, it would probably just drop the weapon and just come in and punching or nails or raking, or that'd be a flavor for the DM, right?
Right.
That's what a ghost would probably do.
Like
It's
an
an
arch.
undead
How do you say it? Lich. I don't know how you
lich.
say it.
Yeah,
Lich. Maybe an
lich.
arch lich would go in there and be like, "Oh, this one's
There we
intelligent
go.
or this one's strong," and be like,
Yeah,
"I'm
well,
gonna dominate this thing and
at that
fucking
point,
use them."
at that point, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't actually possess. They would just control. They'd mind
Control,
control.
right? Or dominate, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and then again, the other thing about possession is that when there's an aging factor, raw again, rules as written. It's if they fail this. No, that's the horrifying visage. If you fail that, you
Visage.
age. Yeah, visage. You age 1d4 times 10 years, which for Chetney is possible death. Like he's admitted that he rolls D100s at night. So,
What?
shit.
When did that? What?
Yeah,
He rolls D100s at night?
every time he wakes up, he rolls
Like
a D100.
Chetney
And
does or Travis does?
Travis does. And if Travis rolls a 100, he's like, yeah, that's when bad stuff happens.
So he has to roll a 1% chance that he
There's a
just
1%
dies
chance that
that
he
night.
dies in his sleep. Yep. Travis has
Wow.
admitted that.
When did they say that? When did he say that?
This episode or last episode, he's
no
rolled the
shit.
dice. He's rolled the dice before, but I think last episode he actually said, if I roll 100, that's when bad things happen.
Is it every long rest or is it every day?
He just randomly rolls D100s.
It's got to be a long rest.
Maybe.
Like one long rest per day he has to roll probably.
Maybe.
I would
Maybe.
guess.
Yep. And then like back to my other point, there's a bunch of other problems that I have with just little things. The laughter, all of the different not that I have any problems with laughter, but like just a bunch of
Ben hates laughter, everybody.
yeah, there we go. I'm switching my papers around here. No, there's just like when they're having this kind of fun, things kind of get lost in the shuffle. And again, they're having fun, so it doesn't matter. Anything
Right.
I have to say here doesn't matter. But I feel that it does take a little bit away from my enjoyment, and it's all about me. It's all about me.
It's a show, and
Yeah.
we're watching it. Like,
Yeah. It sort of brings up another existential point that I was thinking about you and me, is that like I've played this game for so long, I catch up on these little details. That I mean, I've been watching the show for as long as you have, but I've been playing the game itself. So when I when I see these things, I think I'm a little bit triggered when I remember DMs, the horrifying in the 80s and 90s, these horrible DMs. No, I love them. They're great. They're wonderful people. But back then it was very much a game. It was a lot of, the game was the players versus the DM.
Right.
Thankfully that's changed, but it kind of triggers a little bit of that trauma in me where I'm like, yeah, fuck, you can't do that. You're supposed to try and beat the DM, and the DM's supposed to try and beat you. There's that little nagging little voice in the back of my head that's chirping at me saying those things. So it does give me a little bit of the feels.
I feel you. Actually, like I thought this was going to be a non-point because I have a lot of fucking half points here, just like to like rattle off rollies or something. But based on what you were just saying here, and now that I understand the potential motive behind perhaps the scriptiveness, which now is very clear as opposed to railroading. It's now that you've made your point, I think I see it, if that's the case,
If that's the case.
And I'm not completely convinced, but I'm about 80% there. And this thing that I tossed aside as a stupid point was that like there was it actually had nothing to do with this. There was no danger in that fight. Zero danger.
Not too much. It's not so much.
I mean, like a little bit of a fucking push,
been,
but like,
been.
like
If
nobody's dying here. It's 5
again,
CR1 ghosts.
less than CR1, yeah.
Yeah, so like 2.5 fucking CR. And there's no danger here. So like I checked out during the whole fucking fight.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, they're gonna win. I'm just gonna tune back in when they win.
That goes back to my point, is that if they had actually been playing these, if Matt had actually been playing these as ghosts with the effects that they would have had, like the horrifying visage and the aging factor, and there should have been. He said that there was. It felt again, it felt very much like this was a scripted thing for
There's
them
a
to
lot of
do. That this was
wishy-washy, a
in
lot
the
of
yeah.
things forgotten,
He's saying that there's ghosts
omitted.
floating around everywhere, and that okay, 20 of them come, and they all shift, and they all turn and look at you when the spell is cast, and they all come in, and they all come flying in, and or floating in, and they're like 10 feet away from you. But how do they get 10 feet in close to him? The spirit guardians goes out farther
Yeah,
than that. So I'm like, well,
yeah.
how does that? There was just a bunch of things that I was like, you're missing things, and it felt kind of gross because you're missing them for a reason.
I wouldn't say I was missing them, Bob.
Right. Nice.
And also, I think Matthew had said he was like, "Oh, by this time, there's about 20 around you now," and it's like,
Yeah.
"But how? What about the other 50 around that?"
Right.
You
Where
know?
where are the other where are the ones in the background after that? Like if there's only these 20, it felt kind of I don't know. Yeah.
It felt
I made my point.
felt scripted, you
Hmm.
know, and like, yeah, hey,
Not again, not scripted. It felt ordained.
it felt more
Preordained.
than
Preordained.
railroaded for a
It felt like it
purpose.
was inevitable. It was
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah, because this point of like, I feel like they were not in danger whatsoever. That was for a
Yeah.
completely different thing that I was gonna
Yeah, yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
Like, what you and I were talking about a little bit off camera, off mic, was we missed the team, we missed the other
Yep.
folks, we missed the
Yep.
hells, you know.
Well, I think that's again. I've been saying this a few weeks in a row now. I really, really, really want the whole group to get back together again. We're getting on to the 8 episodes now with these guys all together, and
And we're still not
it's
there.
yeah, yeah.
You know, I feel like there's like what
It's fine.
the
I'm
next
enjoying it.
episode or two more episodes until
Yeah,
we get Marisha and Liam and fucking Taliesin back. You
yeah.
know, come on, man. And like
They,
we were saying, like maybe they have their whole thing too, or they're just gonna come in right here and they're gonna do like a little time thing
well,
where it's like, oh, we just got here. I don't,
I
you
got
know,
a little theory about this. I wonder. Should we do another rollies to see what happens?
yeah. Hold on. Was there one more thing I wanted to? There's no danger. I missed them. Oh, one quick thing. I've been watching the intermissions,
Hmm.
the break in the middle
Oh
because
yeah, sure. Yeah,
I
yeah,
get to hear Liam, I get to hear Marisha, I get to hear their voices. You know, I just miss them so much. You know, I'm actually listening to these things instead of passing through it and just like
yep,
going on with the episode.
yeah.
Yeah, I miss them. You know, like I'm
Totally.
not quite bored yet, but I really want to hear those voices at the
I'm
table.
I'm not gonna get bored at all. I know that. But what is I do want the main group to be back together again.
Yeah. I want you to win this one. Come
Okay.
on, roll high, buddy.
17.
17.
What'd you get?
17.
I got a 17.
Let's roll again. I'm using my other die. 4.
3. Fuck. All right.
I wanted you to have that one. Damn
No,
it.
it's all good. It's all good.
Well,
Jimmy,
shit. Because
give me something.
it seemed appropriate to what we were just talking about.
It's all good.
Don't forget,
Roll.
you have your note there, right?
I got
Rollies
some
or
stuff.
rollies? Okay.
Yeah,
all
rollies,
right.
rollies. You win. Give me your thing. You're good.
Okay. This is a clerical. A lot of these things are fucking half points or just like silly points. Can you tell me why Frida left in the second half? Like, what was Frida doing going over there, and then like they went back to go get Frida?
It was very much leaning in. This is my take on it. Leaning into the ranger
Your
class.
take.
Yeah.
So we don't really know.
No, and I think Laura was getting pretty upset about it too. Laura, not Imogen. Laura,
Right.
um, getting upset about why are you doing this? What are you doing? Why would you split the party like that? I think it's leaning into the ranger scout aspect of things, where it's like
Oh.
I'm going to be a ranger scout sniper up in the top of this tower, and I'll just scan the battlefield while you're making your way down this way, and I'll be able to have the high ground to be able to see if anything is coming. I got your 6, I got your 12, I got all around you. I'll wait till you get there, and then I'll make my way over there as well.
Make a rip.
Now, I think that's what it was. It felt like Frida was leaning into that aspect of it. That's my take.
Hold on. Frida's got 3. The fighter,
Fighter, cleric, ranger.
cleric, ranger.
Yep.
Rangers.
Far-ranging integrated defense automaton.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Okay.
believe.
So Christian was playing the character. Okay.
Yeah, it felt very much like Christian was leaning into it, and it did not go well with the rest of them because they didn't want that. It goes against their nature. It should go against any experienced player's nature in D&D. Don't split the party. Don't
Yeah.
let anybody go off on their own.
Yeah.
But again, like I think in this situation, that's what he was playing it as.
I guess I forgot the ranger whole part of that.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense, playing the character right. Yeah. All right. I'll make my peace with it.
Okay.
That's it for that.
I'm not going to yes end that one. I'm going to jump over to my. He did. It was a fun description of that winged thing when he was like when Frida was looking. I've got it actually written right here. He's like looking over and he sees that winged thing coming back in. Wings, leathery wings, legs, no head, just a single
and
purple eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, a single purple eye in the middle of the shoulder thing. I was like, yeah, and it was glowing. He was like, it's sort of scanning and using like a spotlight, sort of a scanning thing. I was like, wow.
Yeah, gives me the feeling of that true sight shit that was happening with the wyverns in
a little bit. Is it the campaign one? Very, very weird sort of oddness of that one. But here's my thing. Hey, messaging worked. Sending worked.
Mm-hmm.
Sending worked. This
Finally.
is a big. Yeah,
they still rolled the 100.
Yep.
And she got an 89, if I remember correctly.
89, I've got it written down here. And Matt says there is no resistance and chaotic interference based on the short distance.
Right.
The fuck does that mean?
They tried it short distance before.
When they were in Earthadern, they tried it short distance.
They tried it right there, right?
Yeah, it was very close. It was very close. Across a courtyard. It was, again, there was maybe a lot of people there, and maybe that was a thing.
They're also not Molaesmyr.
I have two theories.
Okay.
Here's my two. Number one, the ley lines are moving.
Okay.
And it's not interfering as much anymore. I don't buy that one for a second, but that's a theory. Number two,
I'm not buying that one. Not yet.
Which is they've sort of said that the Ruidus is stationary, and that's going to the Appleby Soul Cycle is going to be permanent. Number two is AOL did something.
Oh, I like that theory.
Dun, dun, dun.
Makes me get excited about seeing them on camera again. God damn it.
Yep.
Hopefully next episode, if not 2 later.
I wonder if
nothing against Abria or Christian.
No,
love them. They're great. I just miss my, I miss my party.
That's right. So again, like my sort of thought on this one is that maybe, just maybe, they've done something to initiate a change. They've broken part of the Malleus key. They've disabled a thing. They've done a thing that would require a couple of things. If that is true, that would require a couple of things to happen. That team would have to be playing concurrently. Otherwise, it's even more scripted than we've been saying, because then Matt's already got the future for what they're doing happened before it's happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe there is rumors that they are playing concurrently, that there is another table. When these guys go home, the other group comes in, and Matt the next day or something like that, Matt also does the sessions with them. There are some thoughts and theories on the internets about that. So
makes sense. They're recorded live, but they are pre-recorded. Maybe. A lot of people still don't understand what that means. Like, they're still recorded live, or just play them later.
Just played their yes, exactly. But that also doesn't really make a lot of sense now that I'm sort of thinking about it, because Marisha was doing all that training for the thing, and then maybe that's we've sort of speculated that might be the reason. Doesn't completely nullify it. Could still be a thing, but yeah. That's mine.
Yeah, because she was doing that stuff, all that, the training and the fighting.
Yep.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense if she wasn't.
It does.
Yeah.
I do another rollies.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Roll again.
I got one more page of stuff.
Ooh, 15, brother.
I rolled a 15.
God damn it! What is going on here?
16.
6.
Hey.
Fine.
Okay. It's.
We're already coming up on 45 minutes here, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so this is at the very end of very end of the episode when they get in all these notes from Ludinus. They're looting.
Lewdness
They're looting the
and
Ludinus.
Kava and fucking
Mm.
Laren.
Laren, yeah, they dropped that bomb, eh?
Yeah.
That was a fun one. Did you pull your phone out of your pocket and check
Yeah.
out Abria's
I
face?
had to go back. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah,
She
they
pulled all the hair in front.
Yeah. It's good. It was a sweet little moment. I like that. I love how Matt's like, Vatora means nothing to you.
No
Laren
idea.
means
Laren,
nothing.
no idea.
Yeah.
Everybody at the table's like, what the fuck? And he's just like, nope, you guys have
Yeah.
no clue.
No clue. But at the very end of this, there is a heavy emphasis on the matron. What's
Yes.
her name? I have to find her name. Names are important.
Mm-hmm.
Not my theory, but it's a good one. He did find her name. And in exchange for her name, he's been granted immortality.
Ooh.
That's one of the really, really common theories that's been floating around on the Twitters and the Reddits is that he's found the matron's name somehow a long time ago.
Right.
And
now we got the ultimate blackmail.
Yep. He's like, you don't ever come for me, and I will keep that a secret. Or something, or maybe something along those lines.
That's
And
a dark promise with a god.
Sure it is, but
know?
she's a new god, right?
Uh-huh.
Newly risen god at that point. If he is as old as Calamity is, which is possible,
As
right?
signs are pointing at it, yeah.
She was a very new god. I mean, Pervon was very, very young at that point. So it's entirely possible that Matt's written this in as, yep, he found her name somehow. Found it out and is blackmailing her with it, or struck a bargain. You can erase the name from my head as well, but you have to give me this one thing. Or as a reward for me not telling everybody what your name is, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Those
basically the blackest of blackmails.
Sure. Whatever, a bargain is struck maybe at some point, or as a reward, as a like, hey, matron, I did a good thing for you. I was really good. You grant me this. Or matron's like, yeah, you know what? You did a really good thing there. I'm going to stay away from you. You're all clean. Which if that is true, makes it even fucking grosser that he fucking squashes Vax into a fucking black sphere of nothing.
Nasty.
Woo.
And like if she's like, what the fuck did you just do? And he's like, hey man, we have a deal. You can't touch me.
You can't touch
That's
me.
nasty.
Yep.
What kind of a nasty motherfucker would do this? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to yes and with this. I'm just going to say this. In the last episode, we struggled to remember the matron of Raven's name. And I'm pretty sure we never were given one, right? Because it was stricken.
Yes. No, like, her original name was stricken.
Yeah,
no, and
her original name existed, but then there was very few
and the god
that
she replaced. And the god that she replaced in that was
they were just
stricken
completely
as well.
Stricken from memory, from books, from I just had to give you sound effects.
That was a good one.
Looks good.
I love a good sneeze. When you feel it in your toes, you know it's a good sneeze.
Feel it in my toes.
Yep.
Man.
Cool.
All right.
Hey, bud, I'm almost done here. You got another one?
Man, the things that I've got from this point on are just like minor little things. It's already 4:48. Let's do maybe 2 quick rollies and then call it. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do a rollie.
6.
19.
How are you?
All right. They had, as far as I could tell, all new character art.
They did. They really did.
And was it new beautiful. For this episode?
Yeah, brand new for this episode because of they included the clothes that they got in Uthadern.
Oh, okay.
The Sam FCG is wearing that the trench coat that he got that is green and rose gold. And then the Deanna has her armor, different
Chet has
art.
This like fuchsia fucking garb.
The tracksuit. Yep.
Yeah, the tracksuit. That's right, with the hood.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know if that was new for this episode or if it was a previous episode or not.
Yep.
But we had the 2 weeks off, so I didn't really, And again, I listened to it while it's in my pocket.
I've got one.
It was fun to see. Go for it.
At 52 minutes and 5 seconds.
Timestamp GIF.
Imogen, also known as Laura, brings up the mycelium network in the forest, how in Molaesmyr maybe everything is all connected. And I was like, I see what you did there, Miss Last of Us. I got you. I got you. You catch that?
Say it again. I was scribbling things out.
Oh, sorry.
I thought I was paying attention.
Nope. So
'Cause
Imogen,
I'm a huge
Laura.
Last of Us fucking fan. Show,
Yeah.
movie.
No,
Sorry, show,
she
game.
brings up how in Molaesmyr, maybe all if we do one thing to one of the skeletons or one of the trees, they might all be connected like mushrooms, like mycelium all be. And I was like, I see what you did there. Yeah, a little nod to The Last of Us, where that's an actual thing in the
only
in the show.
actually. By the way, that was not a thing in the game.
Oh, really?
It was not. Yeah.
They were not connected. That's surprising that they didn't do that.
It was individual organisms. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was new to the show, which was really great about the show for
smart.
people who played the games.
Said,
we were still surprised of the show.
Yeah, he said the showrunner. I don't remember his name. The developer, the game guy. He was like, we did a lot of things. Yeah, he did. We did a lot of things in the show that we wanted to do that we didn't have the chance to do or the resources to do in the game.
Right. And once you start an epic like that, you can't just like go back and retcon, for like Last of Us 2. Well, nice little nod. Toss one more out?
Toss one more. I got one.
All right, let's toss one more out. I got to pee soon too.
19.
12.
Cool. This is the second episode in a row where birds are flying away. Matt, several times in this episode, I wrote it in my notes in the other episode too, and I didn't get to say it last week to you, but several times. Matt describes as you're walking, birds fly. Yeah, they fly away, and I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. Like, there's several times where everything is corrupted here, but the birds are somehow exempt.
They're still fine.
The birds are still like fly away, and immediately I looked at because Sam did make a sort of a like birds. And I was like, shithead.
Because FCG
what's happened with shithead?
Well, still tracking them down, I'm sure.
Are
still
they?
tracking them down, I'm sure.
Are they?
I mean, they're not. They're.
It reminds me a little bit about the polar bears in Lost. A thing that happened. Did you ever watch this TV show Lost?
I never did.
Yeah,
I heard about the finale before I heard about the show.
Yeah, it was an awesome show that had a really bad finale. Well, it wasn't a bad finale. It just wasn't what people wanted.
It was like a precursor to Game of Thrones.
Several episodes on this tropical jungle island, polar bears show up. And it's like then they're never explained. So I'm like, right. Every time I think about something that is like, why? What does that even mean? I'm like, it's the polar bears from Lost.
Just there it is. Fucking end the show. It's fine. Jump the shark. Put the polar bears on the island.
Yep. All right, what do you got? This is our last one, bud. Make it a big one.
Okay. So let's go back to the phone. Can FCG taste or not?
No.
Because it's, Matthew says, I have this gold ring, and I eat it. And he's like, it's tasty.
Yeah, it's tasty. Yep.
And like, before Frida showed up, it was just like, well, I can't taste or smell, so I just hope it tastes good for y'all, And then as soon as Frida shows up, and Frida's like, well, I just kind of like the taste of these more than the others. And I was like, all right, hold on. So this Aormaton can taste, but this one can't? I'm not buying this right now.
There's a bunch of theories on the internets about that as well. About
okay, I was going to ask you because I'm off the Reddit.
The shipping of these two is that it's a lot of Sam really, really, really going deep in this. More so, he plays. It's like Sam's a buffoon. Sam's a comic, a comedian. He's just.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm saying he plays that. He plays it up as I'm just a goofball. I don't know how to play D&D, but he is he's really brilliant. He might be the best player at the table in terms of putting these things together in ways like this character FCG is a lot more subtle and has a lot more nuance than people. They're just like, oh yeah, he's just sort of making it up because he does the flesh tongue thing and he does the wheels thing and it's all
red herrings.
All this sort of stuff. They're very much red herrings.
Like I would put him above Liam. Frankly,
I think he's picked
Liam's up there, but
I think he's picked up this game a lot more than the others have, and I think that he's being very, very, very clever with his things. That he's thought out a lot of this. There is depth to this. Again, depth to this cleric this cleric that we have not even scratched the surface of yet. I think that in him finding the Changebringer, him finding Frida, him, all these things is like a discovery that are going to open up more and more and more and more details in their life.
That's right. Oh, and just real quickly, it's not like we have to, but something we didn't mention last episode was FCG something caregiver. What was the first word?
Friendly
caregiver. It might be.
Might be.
Yeah. Or
forgiven,
There's probably a
forgotten.
better word. I think Matthew had a better word. And then, in
flagrant.
this episode, they joked at it, like that was within the face mask thing, right? That was never been pulled before. Nobody'd seen before.
That's right. That's right.
Abria made the joke.
Faithful caregiver.
Faithful. Yeah, that's a much better word. She made the joke of not frivolous, fickle.
Yeah. Fickle caregiver.
Yeah. And I had completely forgotten the first word at that point. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, just
there's a,
yeah.
I don't know if you
Matt,
can you see that? Can you see that?
Sam. Oh, there's a kitty. Can't see him on stream, but
that's Cho.
Sorry, she can't see her on stream.
Cho.
What is she, stinky?
Not wrong Cho.
Oh, different Cho.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart. She's a purebred Persian. She's a little marshmallow. She's gorgeous.
She's got that squishy face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody
yeah,
she's Cho.
She's
stinky in Chinese.
Yep.
Yeah. She didn't show up on the stream, but we did see a lot of Lacey tonight, which was
nice. Good. That's good.
Hey man, I gotta pee. Should we end it? You
Let's
got
do
some
this.
shit you gotta do? It's
I got some
8:55.
stuff.
You got something to do at 9:10, yeah?
Yep. I got like 10 minutes to get out of here.
Let's call it then. Hey, follow Ben at Ben Greenspoon on Instagram. Follow me at drummatucka. We're getting our second mix back tomorrow, our engineer says, and then one more mix, and then 3 masters back. He says well within 6 weeks we should have our full album.
Cool.
And we can't fucking wait. So get in touch on Instagram about that.
We should, well, just while we're talking about it, we also, Critters in Taiwan, should get on Instagrams as well.
Oh.
Something to talk about.
Something to talk about. You all just heard that meeting.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
All right, cool, man. You got to get your things done. I got to take a piss. If nothing else,
that's it.
Don't forget to love each other. And is it finally Friday? Peace, everybody.
3 more days. Later.